What's happening? Welcome to Violet Eyez Tarot and Astrology. I'm Metaphor. Thank you to the new subscribers. Just now starting this channel in English. I do have another Spanish channel, but anyways, that's besides the point. We are gonna be looking at this new moon in Scorpio, which takes place November 20th, 2025, and it reaches its peak point at midnight, almost 1 a.m. So let's go ahead and take a look at this chart. All right. So make sure this thing's on. Yes. And I need to grab one more thing. Right there. Yeah. All right. So starting out, here is the new moon, right? So it's happening with conjunct this Mercury recently. Well, today's Thursday. Today's Thursday for me, for when I'm recording this, but it's like we're barely getting into this Mercury retrograde energy. So Mercury just finished in Sagittarius. So now conjunct moon, sun in Scorpio. This is, Mercury in Scorpio is very precise. It's very strategic. It's good at dealing with other people's money. It's good at getting to the bottom of things as far as communication. With it opposing Uranus here, you can expect a lot of mental activity, a lot of outbursts in speech, a lot of secrets coming to the light. These secrets could have been coming from, since Mercury just came from Sagittarius, it's coming from family stuff, right? Because we have Jupiter in Cancer now, also recently retrograding within the past 2 days. Like, I think November 11th, it's when it retrograded, like a day after Mercury. So this is all, it's like Mercury is bringing all the philosophies, all the new belief systems from family, and now it's like, okay, here we go, here it is exposed. So it could range from basic things such as gossip in the family of, oh, did you know that cousin actually changed to this political party? Or it can be things like that, to more serious things such as somebody in the family changed religions, the family wants to change the religion. And when I say family, I'm seeing a lot of consciousness being brought into the nuclear family system, which would be mom, dad, siblings, to the expanded family, right? So we are learning the relationship and the effect that we have, whether we chose to participate or not. Okay, and I'm saying that because Lilith is, it's in the 3-degree range. It's conjunct this new moon, and Lilith representing outcasts and scapegoats. Like, I'm talking about whether you chose to participate or not as an scapegoat, or as someone who chose to leave the family's way of thinking, or physically leave the family, like drifter, or whether the family shunned you out. So whether you're that person or not, everybody's realizing how everybody is affecting everybody else. Okay, there's like this domino effect, cause and effect, where things are coming back full circle, where we thought that maybe what our cousin didn't matter, and now we're seeing that it does, because this new moon has to do with resources. Okay, why do I say that? Because Venus is here, and Venus is in Scorpio, Mercury is in Scorpio, Moon is in Scorpio. So in Vedic astrology, that I've been learning from my uncle, he says that Venus is money. Okay, money. Moon is how we get that money. It's the money, it's the filter to how it comes in. So moon being in Scorpio, death of a mother, death of a matriarch. And it could be also, I mean, if you want to think positive, it could be inheritance through the mother, inheritance through sisters, inheritance to the homes, okay, inheriting homes in the family, inheriting property. So this is all bringing up um, a lot of arguing, okay, with Mars in Sagittarius, which is dispositing this new moon. It's about, all right, I want it fast, I want it now, I'm thinking fast, I say it now, we disagree, all these beliefs. Mars, the soldier, in Sagittarius, dispositing this Mercury. It's like, oh well, beware, like high temper, um, beware, uh, saying things that could cut people out or cut yourself out. Like we're gonna need a lot of Libra diplomacy energy. And what's going on in Libra? Pandora. Okay, the asteroid Pandora. So everything's coming out. And dispositing that is again Venus in Scorpio. So there's a lot of things that are uncomfortable to say. There's never a right time to take a time out and say, hey fam, like we're gonna be talking about this really uncomfortable truth today. Like this is what happened to me when I was 10 years old. These are examples of the type of things that are gonna be coming out. There you could hear anything from so and so got SA years ago, as a child, a lot of abuse, a lot of sexual abuse, okay, with Scorpio ruling the sexual organs. And this could have been from recently to years ago. And it's all just coming out, it's all coming to the light. And how this has affected the family unit, this has affected new families, the blending of families. It's all very family oriented because Jupiter is retrograding, Jupiter in Cancer, okay, and that's dispositing the Mars, which is in turn dispositing all the Scorpio, the new moon. And then the new moon is dark, right? There's no moonlight. So that represents our unconscious, everything that's coming out of that unconscious. Basically, it's about um I want to say, if you want advice on how to get through this new moon, I would recommend some organization within the family. Somebody definitely is going to have to take leadership. Um that person, there's going to be somebody that needs to take leadership in order to delegate other positions within the family, other roles within the family, to get organized. And this is all going to have to be based on trust and faith, which is represented by Jupiter retrograde, and in the family, which is Cancer, which is the moon. So there's going to have to, a lot of the difficult conversations do have to come out. A lot of conversations about how everybody in the family affects each other, how everybody in the family can win if we support each other, if we accept each other as we are, if we can trust that when somebody wins, they will help in return for the help they received during their come up. And this is all very, I realize this sounds very utopian. And I know that a lot of people, at least in my circles and me personally, come from broken families. We come from families where there is no communication, where there has been no communication for years, the split of the families, the competition within the family, right? Within siblings, mother and father siblings, like people just choosing to cancel other siblings out, every man for himself type of mentality. And I feel like with this new moon being in Scorpio, ruling death, it's just for a lot of people, death is gonna be something that forces these meetings, that forces these Mercury conversations about Jupiter Cancer, new beliefs, about new coming into agreements into things, because um, it's like waiting until the documents have to be signed or until the money has to be taken out of the bank, and realizing that, hey, just because the bank account was under grandma and grandpa's name doesn't mean that grandpa can just take it all out. Like, there's legal Jupiter review retrograde, legal procedures that have to be done here in order to get the goods, right? To get the Venus, through this moon Mercury, through these contracts in the dark, through not leaving things in the dark, through taking that stuff out. Because I feel like resources are a big thing now. The resources to the people. And I think in my most other one, where I focused on my other moon's horoscope that I did, I remember mentioning how the masses are now benefiting off technology. Like, it's easier to get technology than to get other free resources. There were all these programs with like a free iPad for the kids and all this. So that's with Pluto coming into Aquarius for 20 years, right? So it's kind of like the sound of the alarm. Like when all this recent stuff happened with the food stamps, with that scare, which was like a 1 week scare. Like, I wonder what people did. People that were supposed to receive, because you receive your food stamps depending on your last name, what letter of the alphabet you are, and they put people into different categories, right? So I wonder what the people within the first 7 days did. What because this was unexpected. And I realized, I see through the thing. I realize it's like a drill. It's like a drill to see how they want to see what humans are gonna do. And then obviously I feel like there's gonna be like a wave of crime. And it's gonna be, because who's on food stamps? Vulnerable people are on food stamps for the most part, right? You got the elderly, senior citizens, and you got single moms, the kids. So what's gonna happen, right, when working class decides to take groceries, 5 finger discount? Like, you probably know, like, people that are on food stamps and stuff, they probably know people that work there at the cash register, at whatever local grocery store. So some people, grocery employees, might even turn a blind eye to that. And then what happens after all those resources are done? What happens when people really do quit their jobs? Like, we're looking ahead into the future, right? Because there's 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius. And then there's going to be that real final cycle of Pluto in Pisces. And that's when the shit's really going to hit the fan, But it's just, it's kind of stressful and scary to think, because resources, like life doesn't just happen. I mean, some things, yes, some things do happen just like that. But with these warnings, and the reason we're looking at the astrology today is because we're trying to see, like, what time is it? So what time is it? It's time to somebody take the lead and get this family organized and get these resources. And what are we doing? What are you doing? What is your family gonna do? What skills does, we're looking at also, we're changing the value in things, okay? It's like a reset. This new moon is also a reset of the value, all right? So we're resetting what? How we assign value to people, okay? So, like, let's say, for example, we start seeing people not so much as what can you do for me, and looking outside of the family or outside of your circle, right? But we start looking, what talents do you have that I can uh encourage, or that I can sponsor with my own goods, with money, with resources, and then what can you do? Like, basic example, if I give you a bag of lentils, can you fix my sink? And then you start seeing the people in your family, their value for their innate skills, and how can we how do we then assign new value to the people in our lives and see it for the benefit of all, rather than a hindrance. And it's all gonna have to be based on trust. um so okay, with having the responsibility and ethics as a leader, to be able to be the spokesperson or the one that delegates the other roles to everybody in your family, um with Lucifer, asteroid Lucifer dispositing the Mercury, right? It's like, well, do what is going to be the agenda? Like, can you be have the integrity to have the agenda be for the greater good of all, even though you might, the all might not be able to cross this bridge perfectly, flawlessly. There are going to be some sacrifices that are needed to be made. So who's going to be the one who can? This is crazy, this is just, I don't know, I feel like that's what I see here. um I mean, if I were to recommend a film for this new moon, it'd definitely be The Godfather, because it's organized, an organized family for goods, right? And so that would be a good way to think about our own families. An organization, a new hierarchy, and that's gonna be difficult because a lot of the older generations, like Pluto in Virgo people, the boomers, they're this Lucifer asteroid is gonna be passing through their Pluto, and they're gonna want like ultimate manipulation and safety, and do it their way, the proven way, rather than to hand the baton. I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like I'm talking about things that have been peeking in their head for the past at least 5 years that I've been following astrology. I started doing a daily horoscope this past summer, and I'm seeing that, yeah, like, it's all about speaking up, speaking truth, having the courage, the accountability, and desiring the greater good of all. So another thing, so there's this grand water trine here, with Jupiter trining Neptune in the anaretic degree of uh Pisces. And let me get my ephemeris out. So Neptune's gonna be in Pisces. It'll go back in Aries on November 27th, but this is on a different time. So whatever, like, take a day or two. November 27th. So from here, mid-November till that's like December. That's like 2.5 months. So these 2.5 months of, like, letting go of certain beliefs, right? Um, Faith, taking that big old leap of faith. That's That's been coming up in the daily horoscopes this whole summer. It was all about the leap of faith, that leap of faith, and now it's like we're taking that leap of faith as a group. What group? Your group. I don't know. Like what? Who? Who do you call when you need to pay the light bill? Who do you call? You know, who are you teams with? It doesn't have to necessarily be the traditional family unit, and that's kind of what we're coming to here. We're coming to redefining the family unit and possibly even admitting that we need to be part of a family unit. So, okay, we're done with that for now. I'm gonna do some exit out of here. I'm about to do some horoscopes for each of the signs, if this thing will let me. Oh my lord. Oh, let me go. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so Aries, Aries rising. Where that at? Alright. Come over here. Alright, Aries. So this new moon is happening in your 8th house. So definitely a lot of secrets coming out with secret resources that grandma had. You know, secret stash of money. You know, that would be best case scenario. Grandma had a bunch of money. Here it is. What are you going to do? Who's going to take the lead? What's going to happen? How's this going to be distributed? And then it's that surprise element with this new moon opposing your 2nd house of money and self-worth, value, right? So that's for you. That's really gonna have to have to do with resources and death. Okay, death, straight up. All right, Taurus rising. Let's see. Where that at? It's not on here. All right. Don't be shy now. All right. So, Taurus, 7th house of business partnerships. Let me move this out the way. Business partnerships, marriage. All right. So this is a new moon having to do with, of course, with you assigning a new value to your spouse, new value to your business partnerships. Regarding your change in identity, the culmination. Okay, so with Uranus having come back into Taurus at the energetic degree review, right, Taurus? So it's kind of like, when did Uranus go into Taurus originally? Like 2018, June 2018, I think. I don't know. So what in you has come to a culmination? Like you've already been there, done that, and now it's like, okay, how is this affecting how your partner sees you, your marriage, your new marriage perhaps, and oh shit, and what new value can you assign to that to bring, taking action in, here we have Mars in Sagittarius, taking action, and then where's Jupiter in the 3rd house of way of thinking, community, how maybe you relate to your neighbors as a community. Okay, so perhaps you or your spouse are the ones that are bringing that mentality into the community, that whole tribe mentality. All right, for Gemini rising, this new moon is happening in your 6th house of health, work, pets, subordinates. So what's going on here? Um, this new moon is opposing the 12th house, and this really literally could mean death. It could mean an ending positively, like it could mean an ending to a health issue, resolving a health issue. That would be the best case scenario. Um, so with Uranus finishing up there, it's kind of like, all right, we've tried everything we could. How are we going to change Jupiter, our way of thinking, or assigning value to this? How is how's our way of thinking, right? Mercury gonna help trine Jupiter in order for us to take a revolutionary way out. And that is what I was saying. Like, somebody could literally be transcending um, life, but you could also be transcending. Um, you might even try something that works, that could change your whole entire way of viewing the world and the way the world views you. Um, I don't want to zoom out too much from new moon energy. Um, let's see. It could also be that you're starting or refreshing, rebooting your work, your place of work. That could be coming to an end and coming to a reset. For Cancer rising, this new moon is happening in your 5th house of projects, children, uncommitted lovers, all right? And it's opposing Uranus in the 11th house of allies, dreams. So here we have like this need, okay? This need to call out for help. Okay, you're taking on a lot. Jupiter in your 1st house. You're taking on a lot, and it needs to be delegated. So I could definitely see Cancer rising as one of the people that could be the leader for this. Like when I was talking about somebody taking the leader and delegating the roles to everybody else, male or female. Like, yeah, you're definitely gonna boss it up in the sense of, what does a mom do? The mom has to boss it up and tell the kids what to do. Mom has to take the hits. And also, parenting is about, it's expending your energy in making sure that the orders that you give out get fulfilled. And that can be exhausting, especially when you're dealing with kids. It's like herding cats. So yeah, with this Mars in Sag dispositing that Jupiter in your 1st house, Mars with your subordinates, your children, or the people that you need to organize, people in your family, your siblings, your cousins, grandma, I don't know. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to step it up and be like, hey, I need help doing this, I need help doing that. For what? For all this stuff to get done. And they might say, well, that seems a little selfish. That might seem like you're running your own agenda there, Cancer. So your Cancer have to remind them that you're the ultimate plan here is everybody's well-being. Everybody's well-being. And like, if one of us wins, we all finna win. Well, that's my horoscope for Cancer. Okay, Leo rising. This new moon is happening in your 4th house. Okay, Scorpio being your 4th house for Leo rising. So, la creme de la creme. For reals, like, all these secrets are really coming out. All these financial secrets, and the way they've been affecting the family since 2019, when Uranus went into, I have to look at my ephemeris. When did Uranus go into oh my god, I don't have the time right now. I should have done this before. But I can see, right, Uranus went in Taurus. Aha. So it was around May 15-ish, 16 of 2018. So, Leo, what stuff came to light in May of 2018 All right, and I actually have a story here. My brother, he told me that his dad had bought a house, like a $25,000 little fixer upper, right? And he had kept this secret. And then something happened in his family. He's my brother from another mother. And something happened in his family to where they needed a place to live, and his dad was like, "Whoa, well, it just so happens that I bought this house." So that is like really good news. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is all about resources and like what surprise resources does somebody have that they're willing to share for the benefit of all. Sad things could be like, okay, like just dark family secrets. I mean, it could be regarding lovers. It could be regarding kids with Mars dispositing that. You know, that's like the dark truth. For Virgo rising. All right, so here we have your new moon happening in third house of thinking, neighborhood. So there could be, a lot of deaths around you, deaths in the neighborhood, um, death in you just maybe you just shut up. Maybe for once, Virgo, you be quiet, and that's how the secrets come to you. That's how the information comes to you. So yeah, definitely picking up on that, like Michael Corleone type character, where you are like having to change the way you relate to your family in order for them to bring the information to you, the goods to you. Um, because with Pandora and Libra, I feel like there's a lot of money and words. I feel like intel, like information, is money in your case for Virgo rising. And either with Lucifer here in your first house, asteroid, it's like, are you withholding this information? Are you waiting strategically to the right time to let it be known, or are you withholding it? And then, so with this Mercury trining Jupiter in Cancer retrograde, it's kind of like, what revisions need to be done in your hopes and dreams? What allies do you need to reconsider um, regarding this new moon? Your siblings are gonna play a big role here too, if you have them, or people that you consider siblings. And then it's also like the fog has kind of returned. The illusions have returned with Neptune having come back into your seventh house. It's like it's cloudy out there for Virgo risings. All right, you're definitely gonna need to sit back and like basically don't get played. Sometimes we want things to be a certain way so bad, right? Wishing Jupiter, we wish and we wish that things were a certain way. And, come January 27th, when Neptune finally goes into Aries, it's going to be like, well, here it is. Here's the truth. So sometimes just sitting back in silence and accepting things as they are, as somebody has spoken, with the intel being the money here. Sometimes that's the greatest wealth you could ever have. Virgo rising. Okay, so Libra rising. This new moon is happening in your second house of value, money, self-worth. And it's opposing Uranus and Taurus here. So I would say, so yeah, May 15th is when Uranus originally went into your 8th house. It is going to be moving into your 9th house of beliefs, of more money. It's kind of like, how do you make money with money? Because Uranus and Gemini, Jupiter in the 10th, it's like your presence, your who you are has also been going under review. there could be a little like shake up or confusion, like, hold up, who are you again? Like, what are you trying to be? Like, I could see how people could be having a hard time with assigning a new value to you regarding who you present to yourself to be in society. I could see a lot of you resetting your value. Like, maybe you were a stay-at-home mom for a long time and you're just now coming out back into the workplace, right? Jupiter in the 10th. And it's like you're assigning a new value to yourself. Um, I would watch out for the words you speak with Mars dispositing this new moon, Mars in the 3rd. It's kind of like your words could cut people apart or they could bring people together. So you, along with Cancer rising, I would say, yeah, duh, being a Libra too, but I mostly got it just from right now. You would be one of the good people to step up and take leadership in delegating and assigning. Like, there's not just gonna be one leader, right? Like, we kind of have to maybe borrow from the political system, from like, where did that come from? The Romans, right? So we're gonna have to kind of like assign a hierarchy within the family, and be like, okay, this guy isn't, dad's in charge or whoever, but mom's gonna pass the things, but older sister's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, and if you don't have that, like, let's say you're raising a bunch of toddlers, it's, you can look at this within the expanded family, within siblings, within cousins, because right now it's about taking stock in who we are. Like, if the world was about to get apocalyptic tomorrow, what things need to be started now and organized and delegated now? That's the great delegator, Libra rising. All right, moving on to Scorpio, Scorpio rising. Thursday. Scorpio, Scorpio rising. I'm gonna get this water. All right, let's take a sip of my water. So this new moon is happening in your first house of self identity. Lilith is there. So y'all got it pretty tough, okay? It's like you're turning a new leaf in your mental, your way of thinking, right? The moon representing the mind, dark moon, definitely the subconscious. So, have you been driving the steering wheel of your, so to speak, life, or have you been letting it drive you? That's what we're getting. Excuse me. That's what we're getting at here. And how is this new you presenting your how is this new you, all right, presenting your new philosophies, all right, Jupiter in Cancer, to your children or in your projects, in the things you're gonna do? So for you, Scorpio rising, Neptune just came back in to Pisces, right? And it's gonna go into Aries January 27th, give or take a day. So this is the closing of a major cycle regarding you, your relationship to your children, all right? Pluto entering your 4th house. This is like definitely changing the home. What you call home, what you think is home, what has, it's definitely a cutting away with Mars, something about money could really be cutting you out from your family, from your home, or you're taking action in it. Like, it's one or the other, because I'm talking to like two sets of people here, people who have taken the action and people who may still need to take action. Uranus in your 7th house opposing this new moon. It's kind of like, well, in what ways is the new you having issues getting along with your spouse? For some of you, this is a time to really work on your marriage, on your home. There's a lot of changes here. And then with all these resources that we keep talking about, How are you, Scorpio rising, becoming an asset to your family? Or how are you realizing that your family is just as much an asset to you, whether they provide you monetary gain or not? Like we're reassigning new value to things. Like that's what this new moon is about. So I feel like you're directly reassigning new value to your spouse, or to what a spouse could be, what children could bring, like how that benefits. And right now I feel like you're with Mars dispositing your sense of self, as well as your beliefs. The way you're gonna get yours right now, it's really gonna be all on you. It's like putting yourself out there, making yourself the indispensable resource to the public, to the world, to how are you making yourself irreplaceable at work, okay? Um Making yourself unique, not just at work, but within your family, within your children, within your projects, like leaving, understanding a real uniqueness to yourself will then help you understand and value the uniqueness to others and what they bring. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising. This full new moon is happening in your 12th house. All right, so this is about assigning value, getting value through your definitely death. Okay, so you as well as Aries are possibly dealing with a lot of actual physical deaths. Um, and it could be anything from you're in the industry, maybe you sell coffins, to actual death in the family. And I say that because this new moon is trining Jupiter in the 8th. So there's a lot of death, blessings brought through death in the family. Like that's just it's right here, you know. That's just I'm not um I'm not speaking anything into your life. I'm reading, right? I'm reading the energies of what I see. So there's a lot of surprise element, Uranus and Taurus, surprise element bringing about this death. And it could be from an illness that you or somebody you know started suffering back when Uranus went into Taurus, which would have been May 15-ish of 2018. So what in the health, right, in your health sector, whether it's you personally or the people that you frequent every day, that that it's coming to its culmination, like what is going on that could be coming to an end here. So taking action, Mars in your first house, taking action, legal action based on this is of advice to you, you know, making sure that these difficult conversations, Mercury and Scorpio, are being talked about. Like, who is grandma's bank account under? Who's allowed? Like, what will need to happen if grandma passes and we need to get that money out? Like, what joint names on bank accounts? What is the deal there? Like, really getting down to the legalities of how things work within the banks for your money, for the family's money, for the goods, for everything that is being possibly left behind. All right, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn rising. So this new moon is happening in your 11th house of dreams, allies, and it's opposing Uranus in your 5th house of children, your projects. So it could have to do with projects that started around May 15th, 2018, when Uranus first went here. Projects could include your own children, like what things are now getting renewed, getting a new value. I don't know why I'm thinking of like the type of people that like involve their kids in their dreams, kind of like kid YouTubers, kid influencers. Um, you're receiving right now a lot of blessings through your spouse. So Jupiter now retrograde in Cancer there. It's like revisions through spouse, so something to do with spouse, children, things that weren't really clear. Neptune in Pisces, third house, things that weren't really clear before now coming to light. So yeah, perhaps having those difficult conversations, okay, Pandora in the 10th, difficult conversations and things that just can't be kept quiet anymore regarding the kids, how we're gonna get organized, regarding your project, how you're gonna get organized, how are you gonna make money, how are you really making money for this, voicing out that you need to make money, Kickstarter, starting some type of public fundraising, funding, and really taking it's gonna be a difficult transit with Mars transiting your 12th house. Okay, I'm zooming out way too much. But that Mars is dispositing this new moon, so it's kind of like be careful of your own self undoing. How about that? All right, moving on to Aquarius rising. So this new moon is happening in the 10th house, your career. Turning a new leaf in your career, opposing the 4th house. So working from home, deciding to work from home, involving your family, building an empire with your family of origin. I don't know. Just giving example scenarios here. That new moon is trining Jupiter in the 10th. There's a lot of blessings right now, Aquarius rising. Like, watch your health, okay? Because it's kind of like, are you reading the writings on the wall? Jupiter in the 6th house, family health, your health, things that ran in your family. Also, like right now, it's like a good time for you to get things done and accomplished because Jupiter kind of brings like a buffer between you and your enemies, you and illnesses. So it's like, okay, Aquarius, take advantage and get used to the, get 15 minutes in on the treadmill every day or something like that. Like this is the time. Like instead of coasting, you should be using this energy right now to kind of like get your mind trained for the new routines, for the new little micro routines that you're gonna be like. It's go time for you, right? Mars in the 11th house, it's go time, and you could be cutting away with a lot of people that, okay, they're not gonna help me anymore because I have this new assigned value for myself that I'm letting everybody see, that I'm letting everybody know. So who's gonna help me get there? All right, and lastly, Pisces rising. This new moon is happening in your 9th house of beliefs, right? Foreign affairs. So it is gonna be opposing Uranus in the 3rd. So it's kind of like bringing all this walk the walk, talk the talk type of energy. Like Mercury opposing Uranus in the 3rd house. So it's kind of like your environment has changed a lot since Uranus first went into Taurus in May 15th ish, 2018. So what's the last cleanup here? Like are you or are you not? Because this also has to do with your mind and how you speak, the things you speak, the things you believe, and coming to like it's okay, like letting everybody know that you are going to be evolving the way you think and your beliefs, not just now, but for the rest of your freaking life. And so for you, this new moon is trining Jupiter in the 5th house. So children, okay, Jupiter expands, so you could be having a lot of kids right now. Your kids could be like just joy with kids, blessings through kids. And with review, this is also like, okay, I got all these kids, how can I add value to having these kids? Like, how can I, instead of seeing these kids being a hindrance to my persona, Saturn in the first house, right, limiting the self, how can I rather instead see them as an asset? Okay, so you're trying to wipe off all this Neptune in your first house of you, who you are, and how this can actually try and help you add value to who you are. Okay, that's your challenge. And if you don't have kids, it's kind of like, all right, your projects, like how are all these projects that you have going on um elevating you, and how is it that not having like certain acrylic colors, let's say, or cooking ingredients, how is that, rather than limiting you, Saturn in the first, how is that actually helping you to innovate and to keep going at it, right? To it's almost like the hunger with Vesta in the 11th house of dreams, right? With this opposing this kind of quincunxing this Jupiter in Cancer. It's kind of like, okay, well, how is the lack of satisfaction actually keeping me going, even though you may complain that you never get it done? Something like that. Something like that, Pisces. All right. Well, that's all I got, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, I'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. Ciao.